Your mental state when you compete determines the way you're gonna play. You already know that. When you're playing with fear, anxiety, and nervousness, you don't perform your best. On the other hand, when you're performing with confidence, freedom, and enjoyment, you perform a lot better. This is the goal of having a pre-game routine, and this is the topic of this video. I'll walk you through all the steps for you to create your own pre-game routine that suits you in the best way possible so you can perform your best potential every time that you step into the pitch. And think about it. If you're not replicating the same mental states when you compete, you are not getting close to your optimal performances because that controls you. Or your emotions control you up to 90% of the time. And if those things are controlling you and you are not controlling them, they are controlling the things that are happening in your career. And if you don't take charge of controlling your emotions, of dealing with your emotional sides, you will never become a consistent player. This is the importance of having a good pre-game routine that allows you to get there every time that you compete, to get your best mental state. Pretty much, there are 3 steps that I want you to think about, that I want you to follow to achieve your best performances consistently. Pretty much, the first principle in step 1 is understanding how you perform your best. There's a U-inverse relationship with performance and arousal. That means that low arousal and high arousal will give you a low performance. A middle level of arousal will promote the best performances. However, this is different for every single player. You perform your best at a higher arousal level, while other athletes might perform at their best at a lower arousal level. You will never perform your best when you are sleepy. And you're never going to perform your best when you are overthinking, too anxious, and too excited. The idea is that you are in the middle level, and this middle level is what we want to find out. That depends on your personality, position, sport, preferences, and much more. And if you think about it, you can easily perceive how aroused some players are when they're playing. Think Toni Kroos, for example. He's not very aroused. He's calm. He waits for the right time to find a good pass. He's controlled and composed. And think about a winger, a striker who's very aggressive, who's very fast. Those players are more aroused. So think about yourself. What is going to allow you to play your best game? Being more agitated, nervous, aroused, excited, or being calmer, more relaxed, more composed? This is the first step. So you are going to find an intermediate level in here that will allow you to perform your best. Think about your best performances when you're playing with friends, when you enjoy the most, when you perform your best. How are you feeling? Answer this to yourself and try to find a point in the scale that works for you. Obviously, that is not as important. I just want you to have an idea. Are you as aroused as, are you as excited or nervous as Toni Kroos, like a goalkeeper, like a striker, like Vinicius Jr., like Suarez, like Haaland? How do you usually perform your best? Once you figure this out, once you at least have a guess on how you perform your best, we move into step 2. Step 2 is pretty much choosing the things that will allow you to get to that stage. And pretty much this process is choosing exercises, choosing tools that will help you to get to the mental state. This process of choosing those things requires you to test them out. So we're gonna have a brief idea, a guess, hypothesis of what are the things that will help you most. Once you apply them, once you try them out, and you have an experience using them, you can give yourself a much more accurate answer. This actually helps, or this doesn't help me. So, first we have music. If you listen to a hyped up music, if you listen to rap, if you listen to any kind of song that has more agitated beats, you're gonna get more aroused. If you listen to songs that are calmer, they're more relaxing, obviously they'll make you feel more relaxed. Second, visualizing mistakes. I really like this. Not necessarily before the game, but for some players that can also be helpful before the game. The idea is exposing yourself to the challenges that might happen in the game, relaxing, and creating this association of the thing that you fear most that could happen in the game, you are comfortable with. If you are comfortable with the worst case scenario, you're much more relaxed. So, visualizing mistakes for some players will make them calmer, as they notice that the worst case scenario is not a big deal, and they are calmer to play the game. For other athletes, they like to visualize themselves making the right stuff just before the game starts. And I think this also makes a lot of sense also in the perspective of superstitions. Visualizing yourself doing good stuff can make you feel like we're going to do good stuff. So those are two options: visualizing mistakes or visualizing yourself doing the right things. As for some players, visualizing mistakes will make them more anxious. Third thing, mindfulness, just focusing on your breath or even listening to a guided mindfulness. This can help you a lot, and in most cases it will help you relax because firstly, you are decreasing your heart rate, you are decreasing the rate in which you have thoughts because you are focusing on a single thing, you are focused on your breath. That will help you massively to relax. For some players, if you want to get more aroused, more agitated, mindfulness might not be a good idea. Lastly, we have hypnosis, which will increase your confidence. This is one of my favorite drills to use. This is something that I highly recommend that you do for all athletes in the academy. And by the way, we have more than 8 options of hypnosis that you can use in the academy that can massively increase your performance. So if you want to check them out, check the link in the description of the video that takes you to the Athlete Mentality Academy. Well, hypnosis is basically a guided meditation that has the idea of reinforcing specific mental states and traits. By reinforcing those, especially the ones that will help yourself increase your confidence, you are much more likely to enter your optimal mental state. This is also something that I create personalized for the athletes that I work with, that has the goal, the specific goal of reinforcing the skills they're working on at a time. So this is very, very helpful. Again, I recommend that I have a hypothesis. Out of those things, what is the 1, 2, or even 3 of those that are going to help me most before I play? Obviously, there are more options than those. Those are just the ones that I recommend that you do. Once you try them out and once you understand, okay, by doing hypnosis and mindfulness, I entered this mental state while my optimal one is this. So I need to get more aroused. What I'm going to do? I'm going to add music and remove mindfulness. I try it again. Did I get closer here? No, maybe I got here. Okay, so try it again. This is a process of taking a guess of where your optimal mental state is, then creating a routine that will allow you to get to that state, and then analyze and improve. And also, this is something that is going to change throughout your career. Maybe now you perform better when you are more aroused. Maybe in the future you perform better when you're more relaxed. So, as you go on throughout this process, always consider adding things, removing things, or just doing what you feel like doing that specific time. Another addition to this is starting the pregame routine early. So if those things are things that are going to do 2 hours before, what if you start doing them 12 hours before? How much is that going to impact? So you can add more stuff, you can remove other stuff, maybe use less of social media, maybe spending more time with someone, maybe doing something that just improves your mental states. All of those things are going to help you massively. I am sure that all of these 4 things can help you if you choose the right time to do them. And lastly, don't take this too seriously. This is not the only thing that will impact your performance. Your mental state before the competition will impact the way you perform. But it is not only your pregame routine that will impact your mental state when you compete. The things that you're doing daily are shaping your mental states, are shaping your beliefs 100% of the time. If you take the 80% out of the pregame routine seriously, if you have a daily mental preparation routine, if you have a good environment that supports your growth, if you are consistently improving yourself and making yourself better, if you have good relationships in the team, if you have a great sleep routine and you have a quality sleep every night, all of those things will allow you to get to a much better mental state when you compete. So this is extremely important. But the 80% that is not the pregame routine, it's the 80%. So the pregame routine is still a significant part. It's 20%. However, the other 80 are going to impact you a lot more. And if you want to improve those things, if you want to make the most of your mental side, I recommend that you click the first link in the description of the video to watch a free masterclass that I created explaining to you step by step how you can become the most confident player on your team. I'll give you the steps, the strategies, all of the things that are required for you to achieve your best potential and become the best player that you can be. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you watched this free masterclass, and I'll see you in the next one.